There are many strange things about this season of You that you might have missed in part 1. Now, fans are aware that Kate is all about her work and the art gallery. Even her social media page is complete with pictures of art, but there's a hidden secret concerning where Kate works. The Clotho Gallery is the name of the gallery that Kate works at, and she's also clearly obsessed with it. But Clotho is a prominent figure in Greek mythology, attached to human demise. So it means Clotho can decide when someone passes, which confirms the show's plot, to stalk and choose when to get rid of a person. Since Clotho is a figure that represents demise, it also supports the ideology that dangerous situations like passing away always follows Joe around, even if he's on a break to London. After Joe moved to London, he passed a hidden message when he mentioned that he's not Hugh Grant looking for a Notting Hill romance. And this film, Notting Hill, is an old one, about the actor Hugh Grant's character, a bookseller who falls in love. So for Joe to say that he wasn't like that when he moved to London, it's a big hint of his real intention in London. Don't forget that in season 1, Joe was a bookseller who fell in love with Beck, and terrible things followed his passion for her. And for him to not want to be that person in London means he wasn't interested in obsessing over a woman that will lead him to start getting rid of people again, which further explains that Joe didn't go to London for any of the crimes thrown at him. Joe becoming a professor isn't just to polish the story or make him appear cool. Instead, some of the details are hidden in his new profession and the books he assigns for his students to read. In one of the classes, Joe asks his student to read the book The Telltale Heart, a short story by Edgar Allan Poe. And there's something about this book that hints at the end of the first episode in the season. In the book by Poe, a man committed a massive crime of getting rid of someone, and to hide evidence of the body, the man had to dismember his victim's body parts one after the other. And interestingly, this man fits perfectly into what Joe would later do in the episode, which was to dismember Malcolm's body parts. Although Joe wasn't the one who got rid of Malcolm, he assured that he did because it was in his habit, and Joe was too drunk to remember anything that had happened before. When viewers first get introduced to Kate, it's evident that there's something interesting about her that Joe will soon find out and mention, but you've probably missed the hint the season gave to confirm this. In the beginning, Joe found Kate's social media page and realized she was always working, so he figured that she was the less social person in her circle. Kate's other friends have lots of followers, but Kate barely even had up to 300, which confirms that Kate wants to keep something away from the internet. If you remember clearly, Joe is usually the person who has zero social media presence, and so that makes Kate a scary person. Even when Phoebe posted a picture of herself with Kate, a follower of Phoebe had to ask who she was, and that's a massive hint that Kate doesn't want to be known, and has been featured less in her friends' pictures because if she were familiar, no one would have asked that question. In one of the little throwbacks where Joe was stalking Marianne to get evidence that he had gotten rid of her, Joe was reading a newspaper where a message was hidden as he sat and waited in his usual stalking mode. However, even though this was in Paris and not London, Phoebe's name was boldly written on the paper's front page, and the newspaper article headline mentioned that Phoebe flashed more than a smile to the camera, which means she must have shown something private and inappropriate in public. It also means that Phoebe is very famous, and Joe holding that newspaper before he even gets to meet her is a big hint of what to expect with Phoebe later in the show. Phoebe being famous explains the reason why she could be getting stalked. When Joe decided to research Phoebe, he found an article with another hidden message that said that Phoebe had another stalker. Many viewers might miss the point, but that shows that many psychopaths might be interested in following Phoebe. As much as You is about being romantic and tragic crimes, it's also about the love of novels, as many things were hidden in the books mentioned. And in part 1, during Simon's funeral, Reese read a quote from Joan Didion. If you remember, Joan is a novelist that fans have come across before in the series, and that's when Joe's ex-wife Love suggested that he read a book by Joan, as Joe wasn't familiar with her works. Joe isn't the only American in London, as Phoebe's boyfriend Adam is also an American, and details of this were hidden strategically even though everyone knew he's American. Adam's origin is evident in everything that he does, even how he uses captions in his social media account. In one of his posts, he added a caption with the lyrics, "Drove my Chevy to the levee but the levee was dry," a line from the song by Don McLean in American Pie. And in the comments, someone responded to Adam with another American song by John Denver called Take Me Home Country Roads. And this also hints that Adam is far from home, and captioning his post like this on his Instagram page suggests that he misses the American vibe. It's no longer news now that Joe researches everyone he meets, and he did that with Adam too, and there's something you might not notice in his search. When Joe was researching Adam's family, he came across his history, including that of his grandfather. And the unique thing here is that Adam's father, grandfather, and great-grandfather are all named Alexander Pratt, his father being Alexander Alexander IV. However, this changed with Adam and his brother Jace as they took on entirely different names. However, it might not look so hidden that Joe is no longer himself in You Season 4, but many viewers could have missed that because Joe is still the same person even with the changed name. Early in Season 4, viewers discovered that Joe had taken up a new name as Professor Jonathan Moore. But the name difference comes with a specific type of instability. In Season 1, Joe was in charge as he started getting to know many things about the life of Beck, including her crazy boyfriend Benji and her strange friend Peach. However, Joe might still look like that sociopath character, but he lost guard at the beginning of Season 4. Joe got drunk and met another crazy set of people. Even though he tried to figure out little about these people, he was still very slow with it, and fans think that Season 4 is about Joe being outsmarted and stalked. But that's not it, as a significant detail is hidden in between. According to Joe, he assumes he is on vacation in London and is still obsessing over Marianne, making it impossible to see the dangerous situation and people surrounding him. So Joe was intentionally made to get drunk and lose himself. However, the hidden detail is that Joe deliberately avoided taking someone's life this new season. He was enjoying the thrill of life that London was beginning to afford him. But then the tragic loss of life always seems to follow Joe around. And that's the message that Part 1 of Season 4 is trying to pass. Right from his childhood, he's always been entangled in crimes, and soon after he found the perfect way to justify these gruesome crimes, but the one time he decides to take a break, he gets to be the target. Another hidden message is the reduction in the passionate scenes. And this difference gives more time for the big and strange plot twists in the show, because instead of Joe immediately crushing and fantasizing over a girl, he gets shocked by mysteries that he wasn't prepared for. You may not have noticed, but the intimacy has reduced in Season 4, and the reason why is fascinating. According to the show star Penn Badgley, he had to request that lovemaking appear less in this season. He said, "I asked Sarah Gamble, the creator, can I do no more intimacy scenes? This is actually a decision I had made before I took the show. I don't think I'd ever mentioned it publicly, but one of the main things is like, do I want to put myself back in a career path where I'm just always a romantic lead?" The actor made this decision immediately after he got married, as he felt it was more important to prioritize his family, as engaging in romantic roles could indirectly affect that. Penn married his wife Domino Kirk in 2017, and the You series started in 2018. So the actor was right when he mentioned that he made the decision before joining the show. However, since it was a romantic thriller, the actor had to get on with it until now, and he thinks that should change. The actor feels that keeping up with the roles like that could mean that he's being unfaithful to his wife. But then it would be strange for Penn to want Joe's performances to go from so many lovemaking scenes to nothing at all, because he said he signed a non-disclosure agreement and knows how essential lovemaking scenes are for the show. However, Sarah immediately understood when he approached her to ask, as Penn got a positive solution through her. And Sarah was glad that he took the bold step, and so his request was granted with a reduction of the romantic scenes. So, what do you think of these hidden details you may have missed? And what are the secret messages that you've noticed yourself? As always, share your thoughts in the comments section below. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and thanks for watching.